I don't know what it's
Uh,
called. I don't know what it is, but we're right now doing our first recording for a podcast that we're doing for PGC. Okay.
mhm.
I think like the general theme for it, the general objective around it. By the way, to start things off, hey guys, for whoever watches this, or if this ever gets rolled out, this is very spontaneous. But I have no idea what this podcast is called. But this is the first episode to a podcast series that we'll be doing for the Pakistan Games Collective. And today we're going to kind of talk about what PGC, why PGC, and sort of where are we going with it. So, Yasir, this is all Mohsin's idea. Shout out to Mohsin. That I was actually procrastinating a lot on this, thinking too much कि ओ क्या सीरीज का नाम हो सकता है क्या स्ट्रेटजाइजेशन के हद पे ना बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लगा रहा था मैं बट मौसन वाज लाइक नो द नेक्स्ट सिंक यू
कर
जस्ट गेट
गुजरो.
एवरीबडी ऑन हाँ कर गुजरो एज वेल सेड so we have with us Yaser Awan, an experienced veteran of the industry, formerly director at Mindstorm Studios. He was the person who basically initiated M Labs, जहाँ से basically Pakistan Games Collective start हुआ था. Other than that, he मतलब ना is a plethora of stories, building his own products, building his own companies before Mindstorm as well. Currently, he's working as Director of Innovation at the Takhleek Incubator in the University of Central Punjab. When it comes to me, I'm Ali. I run a small indie studio called Pixelor along with two of my co-founders. We make currently at the state time of this recording, we make small web-based games and one hybrid casual game. Um, so yeah, that's us, and we're the
Mhm.
ones who are there. There are more people in the mix. There's Hamza, there's Mohsen. Maybe down the line we will have
Well,
either
technically, right now there are less people watching than the people that are in the team. So, so yeah. So
absolutely,
we have a few
absolutely,
people in our team, but there are probably less viewers of this podcast. So, इतने बड़े तो
for
हैं हम.
sure, for sure, absolutely, absolutely. So there is, in terms of the team members other than us, it's Hamza, who is head of design at Daftar Khan, and he's an instrumental in all the branding and all the identity that you see around PGC. And we also have Mohsen, the powerhouse that kind of keeps who has kept M Labs afloat during its heydays and who is now sort of laying the foundations for the Pakistan Games Collective as well. So
इतनी लंबी
I mean,
इंट्रो के बाद मेरा सवाल ही होना चाहिए. सवाल क्या था?
हाँ नहीं सवाल 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 सारे के सारे अभी आने हैं बहुत सारे
अच्छा.
सवाल हैं ठीक है तो विल
हाँ.
ट्राई टू मेक दिस मोर ऑफ अ कॉन्वर्सेशन दो बट यासिर पहला सवाल जो एक्चुअली आना चाहिए एज ए गुड होस्ट आई शुड आस्क हाउ यू आर डूइंग
I'm doing fantastic. Having a lot of fun as usual.
great to hear it's 11:15 p.m. and this is a complete throw ball on sorry, this is a complete curve ball on Yaser. So he had no idea this was coming to him. So that is, anyways. We don't have Lily around. I think you have the room closed.
Lily is jumping around somewhere in the house. लिली जो है वो इस वक्त मैं से अपनी खेल कूद में बिजी है.
I see. I see.
So yeah, I think she's going to be here as soon as she realizes I'm on a call. She'll
Hmm.
probably drop by, and she should make an appearance technically in this episode.
Chale, stay tuned for that cameo, everybody. Acha. Now let's get down to business. Let's talk about what we're exactly here for. Um. So, I'd like to start off with with a question that's kind of interesting. How would you explain PGC or the Pakistan Games Collective to someone who's never heard of an initiative like this?
Never heard of an initiative like this. So it's basically um, an initiative that wants to create pathways for young learners to approach game design, art, and programming. But primarily, this was created to uplift the gaming industry in Pakistan because Pakistani gaming industry has been around for quite some time, and it has had its ups and downs. And I think it's ripe and ready for jumping to the next stage. But उस next stage में जाने के लिए we need a lot more people who can come become part of this industry in the form of not just employees but freelancers, entrepreneurs. We need to start a lot of new indie studios. There is a lot of momentum in the market, overall global market में देखा जाए तो. So that's the whole thought behind कि how can we enable, how can we um, what we call avenues, because हम बहुत ज़्यादा बात करते हैं awareness की, हमेशा बात करते हैं अवेयरनेस नहीं है, अवेयरनेस नहीं है. ओके, अवेयरनेस आगे फिर क्या करें? पॉइंट इज देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ अवेयरनेस विदाउट एवेन्यूज. सो दिस इज, you can say, the avenue when it comes to you if you want to approach the gaming industry and learn how to build games. So this is that avenue.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm like, just to emphasize on where the industry is uh, currently. I think बहुत सारे titles हैं जिनके बारे में लोगों ने सुना हुआ होगा. If you're even remotely affiliated with the games industry, you've heard of the success that Mindstorm Studios and Lion Studios earned from Hexasort. You've probably heard the success of Supermarket Simulator on both the App Store and the Play Store. You've probably also played Scary Teacher 3D. These are मतलब these are all names and titles जिन्होंने actually बड़े numbers achieve करे हैं पाकिस्तान को represent करते हुए. Like Hexasort as of last year has been number 1 in 66 countries on the Play Store. Supermarket Simulator is still in the top charts. एंड स्केरी टीचर 3D आई थिंक बहुत सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर प्रेजेंट होता है. आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट सिंस आई वर्क इन वेब गेम्स, स्केरी टीचर 3D इज still at the top. They were at 100 million downloads on mobile, बट उनकी वेब के ऊपर जो व्यूअरशिप है और उनकी जो रिस्पॉन्स वेब के ऊपर है ना, दैट्स क्लोज टू 200 million plus. So that's insane. मतलब there's a lot of
Wow.
work being done. Plus simultaneously I feel like there's also a lot of, there's a new emerging market that's coming out of Pakistan, and that's the indie space as well. You see Waqas Shafiq's Liminal Core seeing a lot of success on Steam. There's a few other titles that people are really excited about. Oh, मुझे अभी याद आया, Played You, a daughter organization of a very large company called VR Play. They just released an indie title called Lost Twins 2.
Two. Yeah.
They did have,
Yeah.
yeah, they did have Lost Twins 1, which was a good success, but Lost Twins 2 is coming in with a completely different agenda. They're on all the consoles, they're on PC, they're they've really sort of scaled up in the new variation. And I think I haven't really
And
gotten
they
a
have
chance
had,
to
by the
look at.
way, they in the past their games have been on Apple Arcade as well.
That's
उनके एक वो
amazing.
जो, I don't remember the game, but it was something related to cats and kind of like I don't remember the name of the game, but it was on Apple Arcade as well.
No, for sure. I mean, Playdew has been a prominent figure in the industry. फिर उसके अलावा और भी studios हैं. There's Tintash with a lot of successful titles. So it's a very booming industry. यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें चल रही हैं, बहुत सारी opportunities खड़ी हो रही हैं. And plus, I feel like when it comes to as somebody growing up, for me, making games was also very fascinating. Was always a very fascinating journey. बहुत मजा आता है. Like, the thought, oh, I can make a game that a lot of people would watch, experience,
Yeah,
interact
yeah,
with.
and I would say comparing it to 5 years back, uh, gaming industry was never on the roster when it came to कि young लोग अपना career देखना चाहते हैं इसमें. And that's not because there were not enough people interested in building games. It was just that they didn't know how to approach it. There was a lot of negative connotations attached to gaming, of course. There still are, not just in Pakistan, but globally as well. Those are the myths, kind of like we keep busting as well. So, but fast forward 5 years, things are very different. A lot more people are joining gaming industry. This industry already employs, I think, somewhere around 15 to 20,000 people, which is crazy. So yeah, this is on the rise. Globally, industry बहुत change हो रही है. So there are a lot of misconceptions around कि industry में क्या opportunity है नहीं है. But those people who know what they are doing, their success is already speaking and telling everybody ke kya ho raha
नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल ऐसे ही है. जस्ट टू गिव नंबर्स टू बैक दैट अप, आई थिंक 2 साल के स्पैन के अंदर आर गेम इंडस्ट्री ग्रू फ्रॉम 108 million to 300 million. So I mean that's a very crazy growth rate. Like from another point of view, from a percentage point of view, the game industry grew 21.9%. आई थिंक लाइक बहुत कम स्पेस के अंदर पाकिस्तान के अंदर कोई ऐसी इंडस्ट्री जो कि इस तरीके से ग्रो हुई हो. इट्स कम एट 10.5% of all IT exports. तो there's a lot of things very exciting about it. Now coming back to PGs, now ये सारी की सारी चीज़ों के बारे में हम लोग को अंडरस्टैंड हुआ है. Now coming back to Pakistan's games collective, I'd really like to ask. Oh, Hamza's joined us. Hamza, by the way, you've actually come on a very crucial moment, and we're actually recording a podcast right now.
he
um,
jumped right into the middle of it.
just into the frying pan, literally into the frying pan right now. But it's okay. It's a very casual conversation. I so again, just to give you context, um,
Ali
I wasn't.
loves giving Ali loves giving context.
Huh.
Podcast is recording shuru hua hai. It's been 10 minutes. He has been giving context.
Okay.
And I've been
But
sitting here trying to figure out when is my turn to speak. And now he has started giving context once again.
ah man, but I need to tell Hamza this. Well, I just one just a smidge of a minute. So I was in a meeting with Mohsen. I was like, oh, I want to do a podcast. I want to do a live stream. I want to plan this out really well. I need a title for the podcast. And Mohsen was like, no, Ali, you're never gonna do it. Just get it done. In the next sync, get Yaser on. Just start recording and get Yaser on. And this is what we're doing right now. And
Okay.
this is what you've just jumped on.
Hello, guys.
So, so
So
this is
now
Hamza.
technically now, so we were talking about there are more people. So Ali was a bit kind of like apprehensive about ke Pakistan Games Collective. Abhi. There are a few people in the team, and I was like, we actually have more people in the team than the number of viewers we have. But now actually we have more people on the podcast as compared to the viewers we have. So
There we go.
so
There we
yeah.
go. That's
Yeah,
probably breaking a record there. That's probably breaking some record. But how have you been, Hamza?
I'm good. Sorry, I wasn't replying to your messages. मैं ना जरा अभी preoccupied था घर में.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's completely fine. No worries.
I
I'm
thought you
gonna
said
move on to.
I thought you said I'm not sorry to hear that.
Acha. No, I don't mean that, of course. But my next question is really along the lines of why do we call ourselves a collective instead of an organization or a company? Uh, Yasir, could you touch upon that?
Yeah, I think it's still better than calling ourselves a cult. but
I know,
but
right?
it's at the end day it's all about people. जब हमने start किया था तो we started off with we wanted to the very reason for making this community primarily was that अभी हम बात कर रहे थे ना कि गेम खेलने के साथ और गेम बनाने के साथ बहुत स्टिग्मा अटैच था. So when we started this off, we kind of like talked to about 70 people, primarily young learners, and we then figured out that everybody thinks they're the only crazy one who wants to build games. So that's where the community was born. And when the community was born, we kept looking at, okay, community had a lot of functions the way we wanted to run things. So there were a lot of functional aspects to it. But then we realized primarily in learning, we figured out this communal way of learning. Because content तो सारा दुनिया में मौजूद है. A lot of people can like start learning about something, eventually give up. Not everybody is motivated enough to go solo when it comes to these things. So community or communal learning becomes a very important aspect of things. So I think when you say collective, because it's all about collective power, it's all about collective learning, it's all about collective productivity, it's all about coming together to build an ecosystem. So I think collective is the only word that kind of like captures the essence of what we are trying to do here at the scale that we are trying to do.
I agree. That leads me to my next question. Very fun, but I think sidebar editor. We're gonna clip this part a little bit until I gather my thoughts. But Hamza, what do you think? Uh, you know, how would you explain PGC to somebody who's never heard of, something, an initiative like ours?
For me, uh, to be honest, I don't really like the name because it sounds like वो Punjab College.
Uh huh.
So, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the collective part, to be honest. So easily, whenever I tell someone, na, I say, "Oh, this is the collective." I just skip the part of like Pakistan games. I just call it the games collective. Yeah, um, something something. The collective. Oh, we
When
are.
you call it collective, it sounds more like a mafia family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
And
just
like,
makes it a bit exciting.
and then I also like speak like that. So like the feeling is even more. So, oh yes,
And then you dress like Italian mafia as well. वैसे तो
yep, yeah, you've seen me, na. So वो I just don't like the PGC वाली चीज, but हाँ, I do agree with the Yasir का वो जो point है ना collective and everything. I also think it's also a movement. तो
For sure.
वो वाली भी मतलब फीलिंग इसमें आती है. बस मेरा वो जो शुरू से है ना इतराज वो PGC के ऊपर है. Because like, we're literally also working with UCP.
Uh-huh. No, the funny thing, the irony of it, the
Yeah,
irony.
it's PGC x PGC.
Yeah.
I
No,
do by the way have an update on that front. But I don't know. Matlab, that update should not go all live on podcast when
of course, I'll
everybody
clip
hears
this
it for the
out.
first time.
Huh.
But the update is actually formally as a company we are known as Game Collective, and there's no Pakistan there.
Ah.
Because turns out you can't use Pakistan in the company's name. Um,
Oh.
so so it's called formally registered form. It's called Game Collective, and of course, when Ali and I were sitting down, we were looking at games and like Pakistan Games Collective.pk is got a big name. So we just went for actually I did buy that one, but I also
Yeah.
bought Games Collective.pk. And we eventually went with Games Collective.pk. So
Yeah.
actually in
Mm.
nowhere else other than our logo and the way we say it, there's no Pakistan anywhere. वैसे तो.
Okay,
Yo, there you
I
go.
can live with
Hamza,
that.
out of sheer fate, Hamza got what he wanted.
Yeah, I always do.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Acha, if if the games collective was a game genre, what would it be and why? I think Hamza, you should go ahead with this one.
No, I'm thinking Yasir should go first.
हाँ सारे सारे वो कहते हैं ना मैं तो सारी जिंदगी में से वो करता रहा हूँ क्या होता है वो एक्सटेम्पोरे आप ना डिबेट सारी के जो सारे
Uh-huh.
सवाल जो I have been already coming up with answers on the fly for all the things that I've been talking about. I've been bullshitting my way through every question so
Of
far.
course.
So why not one
as
more? So
as
so
as it should be.
so yeah, I think for me it has to be a genre that has to be fun, colorful, and approachable. So there could be multiple genres when it comes to it. I'm not going to name them, but I think those are the key elements for me. It has to be fun, it has to be colorful, and it has to be approachable. So any genre that kind of like fits that description is our genre. Not that we don't talk about other games, but we're talking here primarily about if PGC was a genre. So what genre that would be? A
Hamza, have you?
political answer. I don't want to name a genre because
Uh,
it's probably going to piss few people off and then not make some people happy and yeah.
so
So what genre, Hamza?
So yeah, I'm just gonna like straight up say it for me. Like I'm not gonna be political about it. This is not going to be my preferred genre, but I think for this, I feel like more would just say party-based games होती है ना? So like Overcooked, family fun,
Yeah.
because collective and then coming together and having fun. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the genre for me.
Okay, interesting. So for me, being a bit more hands-on with all the programs that we're currently involved in, for me it's more like a narrative-based game. So वो भी narrative वाला dialogue style वाला. You come up in front of an NPC. In my case, I'm visualizing a student. and they have queries. I respond, I get points, basically, you know, motivation, incentive, impact. So I look at it from that lens. So to me, it's a very narrow, like at least अब तक जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज हम लोग कर रहे हैं, it's very interaction focused. I have to talk to people, interact with people, figure out their queries, figure out their confusion. There's a kid having a panic attack because his builds aren't coming out, and I'm like, it's okay, gonna be fine.
Have you played
Try
Kentucky
again.
Route Zero?
Have I played what?
Kentucky Route Zero.
No, I haven't. And this is something that we need to sort of do in podcast. We, if anybody's referencing a game in the podcast, everybody has to play it beforehand, because this will be very awkward. Okay, somebody gives the reference and they haven't.
That's what you get for randomly starting recording a podcast.
Yeah.
There
Dude,
has
this
to be
is,
something that has to be
there has to
from
be a
our end
fail.
as well.
हाँ, मतलब मैं
Curveball.
तो सिंक लेने आया था.
सिंक तो कब की खत्म हो गई थी, but
Okay.
yeah. So okay, cool. I think that's all of our genres. I have a more concrete question. How are we looking to solve the challenges of the industry? Like specifically, like key points, if we can just touch upon them.
So I think key points, if you look at them, you have to first see कि challenges हैं क्या. There are certain challenges. अब और challenges की जब भी आप बात करते हैं, there are 2-3 ways you can approach challenges. So overarchingly speaking, there are some challenges that lie at the government side, the policy side. There are some challenges that lie at the industry side, and there are some challenges that lie at kind of like the pipeline side, which is primarily the people's pipeline. So आपकी universities और higher education हो गई. So we of course can't solve some of the challenges, but the point here is what we've tried to do is कि we do policy side पे भी काम करें, और ecosystem को document करने वाले side पे भी काम करें. But सबसे बड़ा problem जो है कि the first foremost problem that we wanted to solve that puts Pakistan on the global map is to कि top talent की priority हो to come to games industry. And that's what we kind of like set out to do, because how can we make it more approachable, how can we make it more fun, and how can we address that gap that exists not just in gaming industry but in every industry. और वो gap ये है कि, like I said, there are training programs now, if you talk about as compared to the time जब हमने start किया था, but still there are training programs, and we're not a training program. We have been saying this from day one. We're not a training program. We're an exposure program. That was our key offering when we started. But वही बात है कि giving people the avenue, we wanted to build this people's pipeline. उस pipeline को हमने कभी भी, जैसे हमने कहा था कि इंडस्ट्री के लिए सिर्फ रिसोर्सेज ट्रेन करने के लिए नहीं बनाया. We wanted to basically create entrepreneurs, create freelancers, and create job seekers as well. That's fine. So that's one of the key problems that we are trying to solve. Then knowledge sharing, because there is a lot of knowledge in different segments out there, and every program or everything we do is primarily built around how can we bring knowledge together in one place, and how can we have more people who have make it more accessible to more people. So of course that's very important part of it. Another very important thing is, if you want to grow an industry, you have to increase the gender balance. You have to figure that out. You have to increase women representation in the industry. That's something we have been actively trying to do, by working with, at times, by actually actively encouraging women to build games, to work with the women only universities, to make sure that all our programs, they have significant applicants that are women, to make sure to mentor them and to make sure a lot of them complete their program, which is a very impressive rate. So these are some of the problems on the talent side. In the past, we have also tried to solve problems on the go-to-market side, and that's something we're always open to. Maybe we'll do it again, which is कि because industry में different segments हैं. अगर हम industry की बात करते हैं, तो there are bigger companies who know their stuff. There are smaller companies who are still learning the ropes, and by running an incubator, what we try to do was कि how can we kind of like grow these companies? How can we enable them more? And even with our publishing model, we always made sure that we are contributing actively to the learning of those companies, not just giving them publishing services, but actually teaching them how to do it as well, and getting them involved in how to measure data, because there is a certain segment of the industry just अभी वो approach नहीं है. So that's something we have been doing. On the government side, जैसे मैंने policy की बात की, तो producing ecosystem reports that give everybody enough ground to understand gaming industry है क्या. Working with different ecosystem players, like USAID in the past, US State Department, Ignite, all these organizations to kind of like create more awareness around gaming industry, how this is an important segment, how this should be paid more attention to. So yeah, our academia side, we of course with our collaboration with 100 plus universities, what we have been trying to do is we've been trying to train teachers, we have been trying to put programs together. So yeah, it's a very overarching long list of things, and I know for sure whenever I at least talk about these things, I do forget a few of them जो मुझे बाद में याद आते हैं.
नहीं, बिल्कुल ऐसे ही है. There's a lot of activities जिसके अंदर हम लोग involve हुए हुए हैं. So in terms of like the numbers that we've kind of reached so far, we've reached so far close to 500,000 youths across various universities, through M Labs and Pakistan Games Collective programs collectively. Uske alawa, we have touched upon close to 140 cities across the country. Our university, we have been trusted by hundreds of universities across the country. Close to 80 plus studios have been incubated in our incubation programs. We've organized close to 17 game jams, large scale game jams, some nationally recognized, which have reached over 4,000 participants who have created games, and some are actually launched in the market right now as well. So a lot of exciting work that's happening, and it's all sort of broken down into, I'd say, three umbrellas. So first is on the policy side, where we generate reports, talk to partner with major ecosystem players. And on the youth side, on the talent side, we have different training programs, we have different game jams, we have workshops that enable, empower youth, women, and other marginalized communities. And then on the third front, we have a community. It's one of the biggest communities in the games industry specifically that's being managed at the moment. It's on Discord. We'll link the link to join it somewhere, wherever this
It's not
goes.
one of the, it's the biggest community, Ali.
Oh, there we go. So I wanted to be humble there, but yes, we are the biggest
By a
community
margin.
by a margin, by quite a margin actually. So yes, that's a little bit about what we do. Hamza, these questions will be more targeted towards you, but Yaser, if you want to chime in as well, you can as well. Let's talk about the identity, the brand that sort of, or the story that we came across when building the brand around the Games Collective. So could you sort of touch upon what's the highlight in the identity and the branding that we made for the collective?
That's fine, but what if I want to talk about the problem, Wali cheese? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Dude,
kidding.
dude,
No,
dude, more than welcome to.
no, no, no. So no, no.
नहीं.
About the problems, about
There
the
you go.
problems, I don't think I can add anything that Yasser did not say. My job is to only make the solution look pretty. So, yeah.
Nice, nice.
Um, but Khair, you
How
asked me,
shallow.
not really. You need this. You need the solution to look pretty because otherwise it won't sell.
Oh,
Um,
everybody, Lily's here.
oh, nice.
Oh,
So
cameo.
the true
Lily,
chairman,
come here.
The true
chairperson.
chairman.
Come here.
She's actually the chairperson. She comes on the top of the chair,
Yeah.
I have a different chair
Sometimes I,
today. She doesn't know how to sit on top of this one.
and she
But
doesn't want to.
Lily, say
She
hello.
does. Hi. What the
so
policy?
very nice. Love this. All hail.
All hail.
Ali, so do you know what I'm doing right now?
What?
Like I'm working on the final touches for the presentation that I'm making. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's going to be, so fair warning, when you see it, Kal, you're going to like, I don't know, shit your pants.
Oh, okay. Cool. I didn't realize I had to bleep shit out of the podcast, let alone cut.
No, so basically I thought you know how extra I am, right? So
Right.
I was like, how can I make this more about me?
Oh, okay.
No, no, I'm kidding. So basically, I was like, I call myself an experienced designer, right? And like
Right.
this, this thing that where you see everything under like a macroscope, and because of course there are going to be more sessions on art and everything. So what do I do with this? So I designed a whole website.
No freaking way. Did you actually do that?
Yeah. So
For tomorrow's session?
yes, it's like it's a two-page website, but like I did this one thing. Like you'll see, you're going to love it.
Are you what?
Yeah. So अभी मैं उसी के बैठ के ना वो finishing touches and animations वगैरह set कर रहा हूँ, like the whole thing. It should like, yeah,
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just me. So yeah, that's the branding and the idea because this is this is
Oh,
what we're
so
talking
that's
about.
what you do.
That's what I do. I make stuff look really pretty and thought out and idealistic and a story. So I call myself a narrative-based designer. This is what I came up with. So me and Yaser, we had this discussion of time. I didn't know you. We never introduced. We never got introduced. So उसके बाद
Uh-huh.
क्या, it had been an amazing time of working with you. The conversations were really nice. And for me, मेरा जो सबसे बड़ा है ना वो यही है कि everything should have a story behind it. Like there is nothing that you can do without any story. So even if you have to like make a line on a piece of paper, na, it should be thought out. It can be a straight
I
line,
agree.
but why is it a straight line? It could have been not a straight line. So that's my whole thing. I call it like diegetic thinking. It comes from the you know historical classical art or वो वाली सारी चीज. When you look at Da Vinci or anything, the more you interact with it, the more you understand the meaning behind it. When you look at works of Van Gogh or Francisco Goya, you see this like so you don't understand it पहले, but when you keep looking at it, you're like, that is pretty mad. So he was going through it, and then people, they have their own interpretations and everything. So this is what I do. Everything should be treated as like an art piece. So when you think about it, like design is more communication, right? But um, form and function, they always fight with each other. मेरा यही सबसे बड़ा मसला, I somewhere walk the line बीच वाली बिल्कुल. So form and function उन दोनों को साथ देके चलना होता है. This is what I do. Thank you for coming to my TED talk.
I love it. Just
I think
if
that's one of
anybody,
the, by the way, that's one of the biggest challenges as well. When you
Yeah.
talk about skill in Pakistan, yes, there is this form side of art, and that's had its own place, which is an amazing place. But when we talk about function side of it, people have never really paid attention to it, and that's not taught in our universities. That doesn't come naturally to most people, I would say. That's not part of their any upbringing or training anywhere else as well. So there are a lot of myths, misconceptions around it. People don't really understand in our country that design is not about eureka moments. It's a very meticulous process. So I think that's also one of the very important skills. So इसीलिए one of the, if I to add to what Hamza said and what he does, um, Games Collective का भी one of the actually overarching theme, funnily, was not just games. So at our core, we're about product mindset. Because games are the toughest products, and we all love building games. That's where we landed. But by building games, you learn the art of building a product, and you learn the art of mastering how to take feedback, how to play test, and how to learn and how to pivot and how to grow. and those are all essential parts of a product mindset. And I personally believe we talk about our in general our IT industry as well. I personally believe case services for sure they have their place in the world, and I'm not an anti-services person. But for a country like Pakistan in a year like 2025, our savior is products. And if you want to get up from a $3 billion industry and become a $100 billion or $200 billion industry, products is the way to go. Now, I think I've been saying this for like ever since actually even before, way before we started M Labs or Pakistan Games Collective. Uh, but I think now in the day and age of AI, I think this is even more important because we're seeing a services industry is being torn from its seams right now because AI has impacted a lot of trivial work जो जो हमारे जैसी कंट्री में आता है. So big chunk of it is that there is some good quality services work that happens here as well. So I think product is also a very important basically pathway if we really want to grow our industry, and games are the hardest product. So here we are. Welcome
Definitely.
to my TED talk now.
No, everybody's just hijacking my podcast here and calling it their TED talk, which is funny. But okay, so just to wrap things up, put it into a small little package and ship it if it does get shipped. That is, some rapid fire questions. If the Games Collective had a mascot, what would it look like? And I think we already have a mascot. It just has from a visual, it's Lily. But if it if I were to sort of think outside of like Lily, I would want it to be we're very yellow. I'd want to
That's a
create a
that's a really bad question to ask for a rapid fire round.
it is. I just realized.
And
Look, I'm coming up with these questions as we go
and
along.
he's taking the most time for.
Huh, I love it. No, but I'm about to give my answer. As soon as I was about to give my answer. So I like the fact that we're very yellow in our branding. And I do feel like we can sort of create something Pikachu-esque,
Why
something
not Pac-Man?
cutesy. Yes, definitely yellow fits with Batman. Definitely.
People, that's not how mascots work. You can't
Uh,
just steal someone else's
exactly.
mascot and
But
make it
I'm
your
not
Exactly.
own.
stealing. I'm just borrowing permanently.
You know what? Mrs. Pac-Man.
Mrs.
I think what we all of us in these for me, so it has to be. I don't have a character in mind, but I do have a person in mind, and I think there is a lot of stuff that is common between Pac-Man and Pikachu and Mosin, because I think the
Yes.
first thing that is very common is the energy that all
Yes.
of them bring on the table.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're very electric in their presence, and I think that's kind of like a very unique thing that should be there in our mascot.
The- I I'd hire Mawson to be a mascot. Yes, down for that.
By the way, Mohsin has been in multiple games so far. I don't
No
know if you guys
way.
have seen or not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So kids love Mohsin so much. They have put so there are games that have been made where there are a lot of Mohsins coming your way and people are shooting them. And actually, actually, they look pretty good. The model was very high quality. I will dig this game up and I'll send it to you guys.
I
And
want to play.
it's a snowball fighting game. And then there are levels where there is actually amlabs and
Uh,
Mohsins are running your way, and you're kind of like shooting all those Mohsins, and वो model बड़ा मजे का है. वो model भी like दिखने से पता चलता है it's Mohsin. So
no
the people have
freaking
put in a lot
way.
of good work.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
That's that's genius. I love it. Hamza, what about you?
So okay, I think if we're like stealing something, so I'd go with Mrs. Pac-Man. But if we're talking about a person, I don't know Mohsen enough to say if it's going to be Mohsen.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. वैसे, let me think. I don't know. This is not a rapid fire question. I'll have to think because I like to draw, so I will be making something. I'll make a character for this.
Okay.
No, we know.
I'll put it up on Asana for you.
I guess.
All right. Okay. So moving on to the next question then. Which Pakistani dish would represent the collective? Now, this is a good one.
Hmm. Ah, hmm. It has to
Matanjan.
be.
Matanjan. Yep. Because it has like everything, no?
Yeah,
All flavors and everything. So yeah, a collective.
I think that's a very good choice.
Yeah.
For me, it's actually stuffed chicken with pineapple sauce. Because that's kind of like the start. It's kind of like a starting point for me and Yaser at least. Plus, but then again, it's yeah, big package like explodes with flavor. Again, the same concepts as you would go with your choice.
Dekho, for sure, we can't have biryani as the dish because
Nah,
biryani is very divisive.
Yeah.
yeah,
Be it if it's a pulao or it's a biryani, or if it should have an aloo or not. And we're not a divisive moment. We are a
shots
moment that
fired there.
brings people
Right.
together. So
So we're a
So many
collective.
shots
So
fired.
we're a Matanjan.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What game got you started into building games? I'll start. There's a franchise on the Sly Cooper called the Sly Cooper franchise. It's a PlayStation exclusive. I grew up playing that game, loved it to bits, and that sort of motivated me to become a game designer.
so that's a very interesting question. So for me, there are multiple games because when I look back, there are two particular instances. One is of course Doom, has to be. Because that's when I kind of like started the level design part of things and took it very seriously. So this was way back in the 90s. But usse pehle, there was this game and I don't remember its name and I'll have to dig it up. There was this game, amazing game. It's an old game, racing game, and you could build your own levels and parks and stunts in it. And it was a very DOS-like game, very prani. And you could do all that stuff in it. So I think that was the game that got me kind of like really going towards KR isko dekhne ki zarurat, because it made it approachable and easy to start building levels, start doing things. But for sure, later on, it was Doom.
Great, Hamza.
So I have been playing games for the longest time, bachpan se shuru se, but I never really thought about making them until I played BioShock Infinite.
Oh yes,
So उससे पहले तक बस
beautiful.
ये था कि हाँ खेलनी बहुत अच्छी लगती है, मतलब amazing and everything, like love. But the moment I finished BioShock or even started playing BioShock Infinite, I was like, okay, what? This is something unique. This is something new here. और जब वो मैंने finish की, I was like, what? I need to get on this. So उसके बाद फिर I started thinking about it professionally, and then I went into game design and everything. Yeah, so definitely BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, Bioshock is a beautiful game for sure. Okay, last question. What game should everybody in this call be playing right now?
I didn't get the question.
Any game, what game should everybody on this call right now, the three of us basically, the audience should be playing right now? It could be from any genre, any space. What
And
game do you recommend?
for me, it
There's
would
so
be
many.
so I want to like say AAA title as well, like, but I don't want to because everyone plays the AAA title. So I'd go
Mm-hmm.
with What Remains of Edith Finch. I think everyone should play it once.
For sure, just to
Does it have to
traumatize you.
be a recent game?
No, not necessarily.
I think so. So I think if you want to learn patience, you should play one of those Crash Bandicoot games.
Oh my,
Oh my
yes, yes.
god.
And I think if you survive that, you're a gamer.
Ooh,
So yeah, but I have a lot of favorites all the time. So
when I
it has to be how you approach this. But yeah, I think if you want to be a gamer and you haven't never played a Mario or a Zelda game, I think that puts a big question mark there. You have to. Those are some really brilliant games. Yeah, recent time में my go-to game nowadays, which is kind of like जब मेरे पास 10 minute होते हैं, and it has been for a while. I'm terrible at it, but it's RL Sideswipe, Rocket League Sideswipe. I just love that game. They have done a fantastic job of it, and I think it's on the up now again because finally, Epic is free from the shackles of Apple, and now
Hmm.
they have now pushing in updates in the game and everything. So I just love it. I don't know. It's a game that is multiplayer but still very approachable for someone like me. And it's not it's वही बात है, easy to learn, hard to master. वो तो चीज है, but then it's not something at times because I love, by the way, I love hyper casual games as well. I play AAA games as well. I love hyper casual games as well. So both end of the spectrums. But at times I don't want to be that person के यार इतनी इस game में कुछ भी नहीं है. So I want to have something in there, and RL Sideswipe kind of like gives me that. Every other game with that feeling asks too much commitment and time. So yeah, you play it for 5 minutes, you feel happy because you played something, you won a match or you lost. So you you get that whatever you want. उसमें से. So that's the game for me, आजकल.
Good stuff. I
Nice.
came across a really cool game on Steam called Rematch. So if you're a fan of football and if you actually enjoyed playing the actual Rocket League, Rematch is a really fun game. So it's a five team futsal style game where you just control one player. So it's essentially Rocket League, but um, sort of reskinned to be more realistic. But the mechanics are insane. It's super fun to play with friends. I highly recommend it. It's on Steam right now, and I think it's on sale. So
क्या
you
नाम
should
है उसका?
definitely check it. Rematch.
Uh-huh. Is
So
that
definite.
is that is that the one? I'm sorry, I didn't couldn't hear you properly. Is that the one that's like Rocket League but with football? Yeah, is it Rocket League like game with cars? Yani?
No, no, no. It's Rocket League in the football sense.
Yeah, that's a fun game. I've
Yeah,
actually did have checked it out.
it's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, and with that, let's close the episode. This episode, the first episode of whatever this series is about to be called. And thank you so much for coming on, for tuning in, and thank you for Hamza and Yaser for bearing with me throughout this episode. Take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Allah Hafiz.
Amazing.
And how do I stop recording? There we go.